He saved an alien chief's daughter from Quicksand, and then he became the hero of the village. Jonah Cole stared at the horizon where purple sands met the sky. The twin suns beat down relentlessly on Orison 3. This planet lay 12 light-years from Earth. It offered the solitude he craved after the war. He had seen too much violence. Now he sought only peace. His cabin hunkered low against the dunes. Scrap metal walls rattled in the wind. Kestrel moved restlessly inside the small space. The German shepherd's bright eyes scanned everything. He patrolled the sandy edges around the cabin. Jonah relied on him completely. The dog alerted to every faint tremor. They had bonded during harder times. Jonah reached down to scratch his ears. Kestrel leaned into the touch. The day demanded action. Jonah shouldered his worn pack for scavenging. Water crystals were essential out here. He stepped into the glaring heat outside. Sand shifted under his heavy boots. Purple dunes undulated like frozen waves. Kestrel bounded ahead without hesitation. The dog sniffed the air keenly. Jonah followed at a steady pace. A distant cry pierced the quiet. Jonah halted mid-stride. The sound came from the east. He veered toward it quickly. Kestrel barked a sharp warning. They climbed over a high dune. Below lay a deceptive pool. It gleamed like shattered glass, but it ensnared anything that touched it. Locals named it glass mud. Something struggled in the center. A small figure with pale blue skin. She was an Aurelian child, clearly. Her purple eyes locked onto Jonah's. Panic shone in them brightly. Jonah uncoiled his rope from the pack. He secured one end to a nearby rock. "Grab this and hold tight," he shouted. The rope arced through the air. It splashed close to her hands. She clutched it desperately. Jonah braced his feet and pulled. His muscles burned from the effort. Old war scars protested sharply. She inched free from the grip. Mud coated her small form. She collapsed on dry sand, gasping. Jonah knelt beside her quickly. "You're safe now." He offered his canteen of water. She drank in grateful gulps. Her pale blue skin began to dry. She looked about 10 years old. Gratitude filled her wide eyes. "My name is Mira," she said softly. "I come from Aurelian Grove." Jonah nodded as he listened. "I'm Jonah. How did this happen?" She glanced away, looking embarrassed. "I chased a glowing beetle too far. The desert fooled me completely. Those beetles lured wanderers into traps." Jonah helped her to her feet. "Is your village close by?" She pointed toward the western horizon. "It's not too far from here." Jonah scanned the surrounding sands carefully. Faint tremors rippled beneath them again. Kestrel let out a low growl. "We should head there now." They walked side by side steadily. Mira talked about her people lightly. Aurelians lived in tune with the planet. Jonah listened without much comment. His cabin came into view soon. Mira rested inside on his cot. He shared some food with Kestrel. Night descended swiftly over the desert. Stars emerged in the vast sky. Jonah kept watch by the door. War memories surfaced unbidden once more. Dawn arrived with unexpected company. A tall figure approached the cabin on foot. Her silver blue skin caught the light. Long white hair cascaded down her back. Reflective armor gleamed with intricate designs. She moved with graceful purpose. Kestrel barked loudly and alert. Jonah stepped outside to meet her. "Who are you and why here?" She stopped a few paces away. "I am Seraphine Vale." Her tone commanded quiet respect. "I lead the Aurelian clan." She glanced toward the cabin door. Mira burst out running toward her. "Mother!" They held each other tightly. Seraphine turned back to Jonah. "You rescued my daughter from danger." Jonah shrugged off the praise. "It was the right thing." Seraphine regarded him with keen eyes. Not all would act so kindly. Wisdom etched her features deeply. "Come to our ceremony tonight. It's called the Moon Dance." Jonah paused to consider it. Crowds made him uneasy still. Yet something stirred his interest. "What does the ceremony involve?" he asked cautiously. "We honor our chorus stones there." They resonated with pure harmonic energy. "The stones sing to us," Mira added eagerly. Jonah arched an eyebrow in surprise. Singing stone sounded almost mythical, but the planet held many secrets. Seraphine offered a small smile. You could discover more about us. Jonah looked down at Kestrel. The dog seemed calm around her. Fine. I'll attend the event. Seraphine inclined her head gratefully. We will welcome you warmly. She took Mira's hand gently. They departed toward the grove together. Jonah watched until they vanished. He readied himself without haste. He chose his sand-colored desert clothes. They fit his tall, strong frame well. Brown hair stayed cropped short always. Old soldier habits lingered on stubbornly. He slipped a knife into his belt. Precautions felt necessary out here. Kestrel trailed him as they left. They arrived at Aurelian Grove by dusk. Bioluminescent trees illuminated the gathering softly. Hundreds of Aurelians chanted in rhythmic unison. The air hummed with anticipation. Jonah positioned himself on the edge. Kestrel pressed close to his side. The moon dance commenced under the stars. Chorus stones lay embedded in the soil. They emitted low melodic hums. Crystalline surfaces pulsed with inner light. The crowd swayed in gentle harmony. Jonah sensed a vibration in his chest. It started as a subtle thrum. Nanites coursed through his bloodstream still. They were leftovers from wartime medicine. Now they vibrated in perfect sync. The stone's song called to them. No human should experience this sensation. Seraphine noticed his subtle reaction. She approached him amid the crowd. You can feel their music, Jonah confirmed with a slow nod. It resonates deep inside me. Mira slipped to his other side. She hummed a simple tune quietly. The stone's resonance amplified suddenly. The gathering turned with startled looks. Jonah felt exposed under their gazes. Seraphine leaned close to Mira. He may be touched by Aurelian. She whispered the words softly. Jonah pondered the implication deeply. It suggested a profound planetary connection. Mysteries seemed to unfold around him. The ceremony continued into the night. Chants swelled and then receded. Jonah immersed himself in the sounds. The stone's vibrations eased old pains. War's harsh echoes dimmed a little. This place might hold unexpected healing. Seraphine spoke to him again. Our stones preserve ancestral memories. They echoed the history of Aurelians. No outsider had sensed their call before. Jonah took in her explanation thoughtfully. The race shared a bond with the land. Mira's humming grew bolder once more. The stones responded with brighter glows. Wary glances multiplied from the crowd. Jonah shifted his stance slightly, yet the magnetic pull intensified. A scout burst into the clearing. We've spotted unusual activity nearby. It centered on the chorus cave. Intruders might be probing the site. Seraphine straightened with immediate concern. This requires investigation right away. She faced Jonah directly now. Will you join our group? His combat experience held great value. Even as a human outsider, war memories flooded back uninvited, but a protective urge surged within. He felt compelled to safeguard them. Jonah gave his reluctant agreement. Kestrel growled at a distant shadow. It hinted at hidden dangers lurking. The group began preparations to depart. The desert stretched dark and waiting. Jonah tightened his grip on the pack. The nanites hummed faintly in his veins. The stone song echoed inside him. The moon dance ceremony enveloped Aurelian Grove in a gentle glow. Bioluminescent trees cast soft light over the gathering. Their branches swayed with the evening breeze. Hundreds of Aurelians stood in loose circles. They chanted in unified low tones. The melody blended seamlessly with the night sounds. It created an ancient rhythmic pulse. Chorus stones dotted the ground in deliberate patterns. They had formed over centuries naturally. Each one let out a low melodic hum. Crystalline faces pulsed with subtle inner light. The crowd moved in slow, synchronized waves. Their bodies followed the invisible cadence. The atmosphere thrummed with deep-rooted energy. Jonah remained on the gathering's edge. Kestrel leaned firmly against his leg. The dog observed everything with sharp focus. Jonah sensed an internal tug growing. Nanites flowed through his veins quietly. They stemmed from old wartime procedures, meant to repair damage in battle. Now they began to vibrate softly. They aligned perfectly with the stone's ongoing song. Seraphine navigated the crowd with ease. She paused beside Jonah calmly. These stones safeguard our ancestors' memories. Her words cut through the surrounding chants. They echo our people's history within their tones. No outsider had sensed their summons before. Jonah absorbed the information without reply. The chest vibration intensified steadily. Mira edged nearer to Jonah's side. She grasped his arm with a light touch. Her hand felt refreshingly cool. She started humming a basic tune. It is intertwined with the stone's existing hum. The resonance strengthened all at once. Crystals flared with brighter pulses. The assembly reacted with mild astonishment. Curious eyes shifted toward them. A scout appeared from the bordering shadows. He hurried straight to Seraphine. Signs of unusual movement near Chorus Cave. That hallowed spot contained thousands of stones. Outsiders appeared to probe it now. Murmurs rippled across the crowd subtly. The unified chants dipped briefly. Seraphine detected the imminent threat clearly. She addressed Jonah once more. Accompany our team to examine this. His battle expertise carried weight here, regardless of his human background. Jonah considered her request thoughtfully. The nanites pulsed in quiet agreement. An elder Aurelian lingered at the grove's perimeter. He scrutinized Jonah from afar. Ancient tales mentioned a song-bound foreigner, someone destined to link disparate realms. The elder pondered this in silence. Might this man embody that prophecy? The stone's hum suggested possibility. Jonah's mind revisited wartime scars. Blasts resounded in distant recollections. Treacheries lingered like open wounds. He paused for a single breath. Yet an insistent urge prevailed. He had to shield Mira above all. Her people deserve safeguarding too. Count me in. His response emerged firm. They initiated setup beneath the rising moons. Gear was inspected in subdued voices. Supplies are packed with careful efficiency. Kestrel circled the area uneasily. The dog emitted a growl toward the far-off darkness. It signaled concealed perils waiting nearby. The desert extended just past the illuminated trees. Seraphine distributed slender energy staffs. They drew power from stones discreetly. Jonah secured his knife in place. The familiar heft steadied his nerves. Mira remained near her mother closely. Her purple eyes displayed resolve alone. No trace of apprehension showed. The elder drew nearer to the assembling team. Our lore predicts convergence of paths, he murmured to Seraphine gently. Yet his attention was fixed on Jonah. The humans sensed the profound implication. Timeless narratives hung in the air. Jonah adjusted his shoulder strap snugly. Everything felt properly fastened. The nanites maintained their subtle thrum. They mirrored the stone's persistent melody. Kestrel nosed the sand forward. His posture stayed vigilant. Seraphine sketched the route concisely. We'll proceed straight to the cave. It spanned 50 kilometers of undulating terrain. They planned to travel under a nocturnal veil. Jonah acknowledged with a brief nod. Strategic habits resurfaced effortlessly. Mira resumed her soft humming. Adjacent stones answered with faint echoes. Their glow glowed in subtle flickers. The assembly observed as the team withdrew. Chants swelled anew in their wake. The desert chill settled in rapidly. Grains hissed beneath advancing steps. Jonah took point with measured caution. Kestrel flanked him diligently. Seraphine matched his stride evenly. Her armor reflected stray moonbeams. They surmounted the initial dune without noise. Imprints emerged in the loose sand. Bulky equipment had been traversed recently. Foreign to this pristine environment, external forces left undeniable traces. Seraphine indicated the distinct marks. This confirms outside meddling. Chorus stones fueled their entire society. Misused, they transformed into devastating arms. Jonah surveyed the distant line keenly. Forms shifted in the gloom ahead. They reached the cave's mouth eventually. A shattered communicator rested there. Its transmission is blocked by sophisticated interference. Jonah retrieved it with care. His nanites escalated their hum. The cavern's dense stones beckoned them. Radiance intensified with his proximity. Ambush fire exploded without warning. Karn's syndicate soldiers struck from cover. Their black plating merged with shadows. Plasma weapons unleashed searing volleys. Jonah thrust Mira behind solid stone. He neutralized one assailant rapidly. Instinctive training surged to the fore. Seraphine brandished her staff decisively. It projected energy in protective curves. The field repelled incoming blasts. The group withdrew into the cave's shelter. Mira's song ascended clearly. It pacified the agitated stones. Detonations failed to induce cave-in. Jonah identified a known emblem on the gear. It hailed from past conflicts. A cold realization dawned swiftly. Rhodes commanded this force undoubtedly, his ex-superior, now a betrayer. Combat intensified in the dim interior. Flashes illuminated rugged walls. Jonah aimed his pistol with precision. An enemy fell without sound. Seraphine guarded his exposed side. Their actions harmonized instinctively. Mira retreated further into the depths. Her melody sustained the stone's equilibrium. Kestrel pounced on a lurking form, jaws clamped onto the protected limb. The dog wrenched with fierce determination. Rhodes's tone broadcast from exterior speakers. "I see you in there, Cole." The mockery carried familiar venom. Jonah clenched his firearm harder. Nanites flooded with raw power. The Elder's prophecy resonated inwardly. Connector of disparate spheres. It seemed to align with him presently. Seraphine gestured a retaliatory tactic. They advanced in unison. Energy discharges whizzed by closely. Jonah dove for a better position. His fire struck true again. The attackers yielded ground marginally. The cavern remained secure temporarily, yet peril hovered persistently near. Jonah regulated his breathing evenly. The internal melody amplified gradually. Orison III embraced him more fully. Jonah led the group across the vast desert expanse. Seraphine matched his pace without effort. Mira trailed close behind her mother. The small Aurelian team followed in tight formation. Kestrel darted along the flanks silently. The twin moons cast pale light over the sands. Shadows stretched long and deceptive. They aimed for the chorus cave directly. It lay 50 kilometers from the village edge. The journey demanded constant vigilance. The team pressed on through the night hours. Dunes rose and fell in endless waves. Footsteps sank into the soft purple grains. Fatigue began to whisper at the edges, yet no one complained openly. Seraphine pointed out faint landmarks occasionally. Ancient stone formations guided their way. Jonah adjusted his pack for better balance. The nanites maintained a steady hum inside. Strange tracks appeared under the moonlight. They cut deep into the desert floor. Heavy machinery had carved them recently. Such marks felt alien to Orison III's wild terrain. They suggested intruders from off-world sources. The group halted to examine them closely. Seraphine knelt and traced one groove. "This confirms external forces at work." She rose with a grave expression. "Our chorus stones serve as vital energy. They could illuminate entire settlements safely, but twisted, they fueled destructive tools." Jonah surveyed the surrounding darkness keenly. The tracks led straight toward the cave. Tension coiled in the air tighter. They resumed the trek with heightened caution. The cave entrance loomed in the distance finally. A shattered communicator device rested on the ground. Its casing bore signs of rough handling. Advanced tech had jammed its signal completely. Jonah picked it up for inspection. Circuits are fried beyond simple repair. His nanites reacted with a faint buzz. The cave housed a dense array of chorus stones. Their collective energy called out subtly. Glows emanated brighter as he stepped nearer. The stones seemed to recognize something within him. The team fanned out to secure the perimeter. Ambush erupted from hidden positions suddenly. Karn's syndicate mercenaries unleashed coordinated fire. Their black armor melted into the night seamlessly. Plasma rifles discharged with sharp cracks. Bolts sizzled through the cool air. Jonah reacted on pure instinct. He shielded Mira with his body. She yelped in brief surprise. He lunged toward the nearest attacker. Combat training guided his movements fluidly. A quick twist disarmed the mercenary. The rifle clattered to the sand uselessly. Seraphine activated her energy staff swiftly. It projected a shimmering barrier field. Incoming shots deflected harmlessly away. In the nearby mercenaries' camp, a bound Aurelian scout strained against restraints. He had been captured during an earlier patrol. Pain throbbed from fresh bruises. He whispered prayers to the distant stones. Their anger vibrated through the ground faintly. Deliverance felt possible in the chaos. Gunfire echoed like thunder around him. The team backpedaled into the cave's protective mouth. Rocks provided natural cover points. Mercenaries pressed the assault relentlessly. Explosives detonated near the entrance rim. The blast shook loose debris overhead. Mira raised her voice in urgent song. The melody wove through the trembling stones. It soothed their agitation instantly. The threatened collapse was averted just in time. Jonah fired back with measured shots. His pistol barked in controlled bursts. One mercenary staggered and fell. Seraphine flanked from the side effectively. Her staff sent energy pulses arcing out. They disrupted enemy formations briefly. Kestrel weaved through the fray nimbly. The dog targeted legs and arms. A familiar insignia caught Jonah's eye. It adorned a fallen mercenary shoulder plate. The design stirred buried memories sharply. It belonged to the Karn Syndicate. Undoubtedly, a chilling truth crystallized in his mind. Their leader had to be someone known. The skirmish intensified under the moons. Bolts lit the cave entrance sporadically. Jonah reloaded his weapon smoothly. Sweat beaded on his brow despite the chill. Seraphine called out tactical adjustments. The team adapted without hesitation. Mira's song continued from deeper shadows. It held the stones in fragile balance. The scout in the camp sensed the shift. Hope flickered in his weary eyes. Jonah spotted another opening quickly. He advanced with careful precision. A shot grazed his arm lightly. Pain flare, but he ignored it. The nanites surged to dampen the sting. Seraphine covered his bold move. Her barrier expanded to shield more ground. Mercenaries hesitated under the pressure. The bound scout twisted free partially. He grabbed a loose rock nearby. A chance for escape emerged. Kestrel growled deep and lunged again. Distraction bought precious seconds. Jonah pressed the advantage forward. The insignia burned in his thoughts. Rhodes pulled the strings here. Betrayal echoed from the past anew. The cave walls vibrated with restrained power. Stones hummed in growing discord. The fight teetered on a knife's edge. Jonah breathed through the adrenaline rush. Orson III's song intertwined with his pulse. Unity felt within reach amid the storm. Deep within the chorus cave, shadows danced from flickering energy pulses. The air hummed with residual combat echoes. Jonah crouched behind a jagged crystal outcrop. His breath came in the controlled measures. Seraphine positioned herself nearby with her staff ready. Mira huddled further back in safety. The Aurelian team regrouped amid scattered debris. Mercenary fire had ceased temporarily outside. Jonah pieced together the chilling truth slowly. The Karn Syndicate followed Commander Rhodes's lead. His old superior from the war days. The man who had sold out their unit. Betrayal burned fresh in Jonah's mind. He clenched his fist around the pistol grip. Memories flooded in like a sudden storm. Rhodes had abandoned their squad on a ravaged frontier world. Explosions lit the night as comrades fell. Jonah barely escaped with his life. Rhodes profited from shadowy deals afterward. The insignia confirmed it all now. Jonah wrestled with inner turmoil silently. Guilt weighed heavily from surviving alone. He questioned if it was deserved fate. Yet protecting Mira shifted his focus. Seraphine offered a new purpose too. Redemption flickered like a distant light. Seraphine leaned close to whisper urgently, "Rhodes hunts the stones for dark ends." She explained his twisted scheme calmly, a sonic weapon to fracture entire planets. Jonah's nanites served as the key catalyst. Their resonance unlocked devastating power. Mira ventured deeper into the cave cautiously. Her curiosity drew her to a glowing stone. She touched it lightly by accident. The crystal activated with a soft chime. It projected holographic Aurelian memories. Scenes of harmony between diverse species unfolded. Hope bloomed in the dim space. Rhodes' voice crackled over a captured communicator. "Cole, you can't hide forever." The taunt dripped with familiar arrogance. "Surrender and unlock the stone's true might." Jonah gripped the device tightly. Anger simmered beneath his calm exterior. Seraphine outlined a rescue plan swiftly. They needed to free the captured scouts first. then sabotaged the mercenaries' gear thoroughly. Jonah's tactical expertise anchored the strategy. He nodded in firm agreement. Jonah began training the Aurelians immediately. Guerrilla tactics suited the cave's layout well. He adapted their energy weapons cleverly. Counters to mercenary tech emerged naturally. The team absorbed the lessons quickly. Kestrel sniffed along the cave floor alertly. The dog uncovered a hidden explosive stash. Jonah disarmed the trap with steady hands. Danger averted without a sound. As preparations wrapped up neatly, Mira approached Jonah quietly. She held out a small chorus ring. The stone artifact gleamed faintly. "This will keep you safe," she said softly. Jonah accepted it with gratitude. He slipped it onto his finger. The ring resonated with his nanites instantly. A warm hum spread through his veins. Strength infused his resolve deeper. Seraphine watched the exchange thoughtfully. Bonds strengthened in the cave's glow. Rhodes' forces stirred outside once more. Distant commands echoed faintly. The team readied for the strike ahead. Jonah checked his weapon one last time. Kestrel stood poised at his side. Mira's projected memory lingered in the air. Unity between worlds felt achievable now. Jonah drew inspiration from it quietly. Seraphine signaled the start of the plan. They moved out in coordinated silence. The cave's stones hummed in subtle support. Jonah led the advance with precision. The betrayer's shadow loomed large outside. Confrontation waited in the desert night. The nanites pulsed in rhythm steadily. Orison III's song wove into his being. Purpose guided every step forward. Dawn crept over the desert horizon slowly. Purple sands glowed under the first light rays. The team emerged from the cave shadows quietly. Jonah signaled the advance with a raised hand. They used the uneven terrain cleverly. Dunes provided natural cover against heavier foes. Karn's syndicate vehicles rumbled in the distance. Their tracks churned the sand relentlessly. Jonah felt the chorus ring warm on his finger. Nanites resonated deeply within him. A low hum emanated from his core. It spread outward like a subtle wave. Mercenary comms crackled with static interference. Targeting systems flickered and failed erratically. Confusion rippled through enemy ranks. Seraphine took charge of a flanking group. She moved with purposeful grace ahead. Her reflective armor caught the rising sun. It deflected incoming laser bursts harmlessly. She channeled stone energy through her staff. A protective barrier shimmered into existence. It shielded the scout's rescue path effectively. Mira remained concealed deep in the cave. Her voice rose in gentle song once more. It wove through the chorus stones seamlessly. Vibrations amplified under her guidance. Mercenary drilling rigs groaned in protest. The equipment destabilized and sparked violently. Operations ground to a sudden halt. Rhodes countered from his command post swiftly. He deployed a prototype sonic weapon nearby. Its low-frequency pulse thrummed through the air. Cave walls trembled with increasing force. Dust cascaded from the ceiling cracks. Collapse loomed as a real threat now. Jonah spotted the weapon operator exposed. He charged forward in a low sprint, tackling the mercenary hard to the ground. The device activated mid-struggle anyway. A painful surge coursed through Jonah's nanites. It nearly dropped him to his knees. Vision blurred under the intense strain. A young Aurelian warrior fought closely beside Jonah. He admired the human's bold charge inwardly. Courage shone bright in the chaos, yet fear gnawed at him quietly. Jonah's nanites drew too much attention. They marked him as a prime target. The warrior covered Jonah's flank instinctively. Energy staff hummed in his grip. Seraphine rushed to Jonah's side quickly. She combined her stone knowledge with his tactics. They targeted the weapon's core together. Her energy pulses weakened its shields. Jonah's precise shots pierced the vital components. The device sputtered and powered down. Chaos swirled amid the battle dust. Mercenaries regrouped around Rhodes' position. He seized an opening in the fray, grabbing Mira from her hidden spot. She struggled, but his grip held firm. He retreated toward a waiting shuttle. The Karn flagship orbited high above Orison III. Engines roared as they lifted off. Jonah pushed through the pain haze. He vowed to rescue Mira no matter what. Resolve hardened like forged steel. Bonds with Seraphine and the girl deepened. They fueled his determination fully. The team finally secured the cave entrance. Victory tasted bittersweet without Mira. Seraphine placed a hand on Jonah's shoulder. "We will bring her back." Her voice carried quiet strength. Jonah nodded in silent agreement. Kestrel winded his feet softly. The dogs sensed the loss acutely. The desert wind picked up around them. Sands shifted in restless patterns. Jonah scanned the sky for signs. The flagship loomed as a distant speck. Planning the next move began immediately. Nanites settled into a steady rhythm again. The chorus ring pulsed with faint light. Orison III's song urged him onward. Unity against the betrayer grew stronger. The young warrior approached them hesitantly. "Your nanites saved us today." Admiration mixed with lingering concern. Jonah offered a brief smile. "We all fought as one." Seraphine organized the freed scouts efficiently. They shared intel on Rhodes's operations. Weak points emerged in the discussion. A stolen shuttle waited nearby now. Jonah loaded supplies with focused care. Mira's voice echoed in his memory. Her song had turned the tide. Rescue called like an unbreakable pull. The team boarded the shuttle quietly. Engines hummed to life beneath them. A scent pierced the morning sky. The flagship awaited in low orbit. Kestrel settled at Jonah's feet calmly. The dog trusted his lead completely. Seraphine piloted with skilled hands. Coordinates locked on the Karn vessel. Jonah gripped the chorus ring tightly. Nanites hummed in eager response. The battle shifted to the stars now. Redemption drew closer with each moment. The stolen syndicate shuttle pierced the atmosphere smoothly. Jonah gripped the armrest as a turbulence shook the craft lightly. Seraphine handled the controls with expert focus. Her fingers danced over the panels. They used hacked access codes to slip past defenses. The Karn flagship loomed ahead in low orbit. It measured 2 kilometers from bow to stern. A massive warship brimming with stolen power. Inside, the ship resembled a labyrinth of steel corridors. Cold metal walls gleamed under harsh lighting. Machinery hummed in constant rhythm. Chorus stones were wired illegally into the core. They pulsed with forced energy, twisted for destruction. Jonah felt his nanites react sharply. Pain flared, but he pushed through it. Kestrel had been smuggled aboard in a cargo crate. The dog emerged quietly, ears perked for danger. His keen senses guided them forward. They crawled through narrow ventilation shafts. Dust clung to their clothes. Patrols echoed in the halls below. Seraphine paused to share a quiet story. "Our people faced extinction long ago. The stone's energy had saved them then. Their theft now cuts deep like betrayal." Jonah listened while scanning ahead. Understanding deepened his resolve. The nanites in Jonah's blood churned violently. Proximity to the weaponized stones amplified everything. Pain shot through his limbs, but it also boosted his disruption ability. Ship systems flickered nearby. A Karn technician monitored the weapon console closely. Energy levels fluctuated without warning. Panic rose in his chest. He feared Rhodes's explosive temper. Sweat beaded on his brow. The core hummed erratically. Something felt off in the readings. Jonah and Seraphine dropped into a side corridor. They located Mira's holding cell soon after. Her voice hummed weakly from within. It kept the stones from critical overload. Purple eyes lit up at their sight. Rhodes appeared suddenly with armed guards. He confronted them in the narrow space. "Cole, your nanites will stabilize this weapon." His plan unfolded in cold detail. Destroy rival systems one by one, starting right here with Orison III. Scars twisted his face into a sneer. A fierce firefight broke out immediately. Jonah and Seraphine stood back to back. Plasma bolts zipped through the air. Trust between them solidified in the heat. Her staff deflected shots skillfully. Jonah returned fire with precise aim. They breached Mira's cell amid the chaos. She stumbled out, voice strained but steady. Rhodes activated the sonic weapon in response. Its hum filled the ship ominously. Hull plates rattled under the strain. Destruction threatened everyone aboard. Kestrel barked sharply from the vents. The dog distracted a guard briefly. Jonah used the moment to press forward. Seraphine channeled energy bursts outward. Guards scattered under the assault. Mira joined her mother's side quickly. Her hum intertwined with the stones. It bought them precious time. Rhodes laughed in dark amusement. You can't stop the inevitable. Jonah's chorus ring glowed brighter now. Nanites synced with its power fully. A feedback wave built inside him. The team retreated toward an escape route. Alarms blared through the corridors. The technician abandoned his post in fear. Systems spiraled toward failure. Rhodes' plan unraveled thread by thread. Seraphine led them to a maintenance bay. Shuttle bays waited beyond the next bulkhead. Jonah covered their rear effectively. Bolts singed the air close by. Mira's strength returned in small measures. Her presence fueled their escape. The flagship trembled with building instability. Kestrel bounded ahead to scout. The dog navigated the maze flawlessly. Jonah felt Orison III's pull even here. The planet's song echoed in his core. They reached a sealed door finally. Seraphine hacked it open swiftly. Freedom loomed just steps away. Rhodes' voice boomed over the speakers. This ends now, Cole. Pursuit closed in from behind. The sonic hum grew to a deafening roar. Microfractures spiderwebbed the hull plates. Time ran short for everyone. Jonah turned to face the threat. Resolve burned bright in his eyes. The battle peaked in the stars above. The Karn flagship shuddered violently under the sonic weapon's growing roar. Its hum pulsed through the steel corridors. Microfractures spread across the hull like thin cracks in ice. Jonah braced against a bulkhead for balance. His nanites surged with chaotic energy. The chorus ring glowed hot on his finger. Seraphine stood steady beside him, her armor reflecting the dim emergency lights. Mira clung to her mother's side, voice trembling but resolute. Mira began a counter melody, soft at first. Her song wove through the weapon's destructive frequency. It pushed against the overwhelming hum. The stones wired into the core flickered erratically. Their stolen energy faltered under her influence. Jonah felt his nanites respond in kind. He channeled their power through the chorus ring. A feedback loop built rapidly between them. Seraphine engaged Rhodes's elite guards head-on. Her staff pulsed with stone energy, glowing brighter with each swing. She deflected plasma bolts with fluid precision. Her armor absorbed stray hits, shimmering under impact. The guards pressed forward relentlessly. Their black visors hid any hint of fear. Rhodes emerged from the shadows, towering in his scarred armor. He fixed Jonah with a cold stare. You're weak, Cole. Always chasing redemption. His voice dripped with mockery, pulling at old wounds. He swung a heavy blade toward Jonah's chest. The move was fast, practiced from war days. Jonah dodged narrowly, muscles straining. He countered with a quick jab. The blow glanced off Rhodes's armor. Kestrel seized the moment, leaping from a nearby vent. The dog's teeth sank into Rhodes's arm. The commander snarled, shaking Kestrel off with brutal force. The dog yelped but scrambled back to his feet. Seraphine's thoughts drifted briefly amid the chaos. Jonah's kindness stirred something deep within her. His choice to protect Mira, to stand with her people, spoke of strength. She saw a future where their worlds could unite. His actions wove humans and Aurelians closer. She fought harder, fueled by that hope. Mira's song grew stronger, clearer. The stone's vibrations shifted in her favor. The weapon's core whined under mounting strain. Jonah pushed his nanites to their limit. Pain lanced through his body, but he held focus. The feedback loop tightened, overloading the core's circuits. Sparks erupted from the weapon's housing. Rhodes lunged again, blade flashing in the low light. Jonah parried with his knife, metal clanging sharply. Kestrel darted in once more, snapping at Rhodes's legs. The distraction gave Jonah an opening. He landed a solid strike to Rhodes's chest. The commander staggered, breath hissing through his teeth. The core's instability reached critical levels. Alarms screamed through the flagship's halls. Hull fractures widened, groaning under pressure. Seraphine shouted for evacuation. To the pods now! She grabbed Mira's hand, pulling her toward the bay. Jonah covered their retreat, firing precise shots. The guards fell back, overwhelmed by the chaos. The technician's abandoned console sparked violently. The weapon teetered on the edge of implosion. Jonah hesitated for a split second. He needed to ensure its destruction. Orison 3 depended on it. Seraphine reached the escape pod first. She ushered Mira inside quickly. Kestrel bounded in after them, tail low but alert. Jonah lingered at the pod's hatch. He glanced back at the core. Its hum had become a piercing wail. Rhodes struggled to his feet, shouting orders to no one. Jonah slammed his fist against the control panel. It triggered a final surge through the stones. The feedback loop collapsed inward. The core erupted in a cascade of light and sound. Jonah dove into the pod as a shockwave hit. Seraphine sealed the hatch with a swift motion. The pod launched into the void instantly. The flagship exploded behind them, a brilliant flare in the black. Debris scattered across the orbit of Orison 3. The blast's light painted the desert below briefly. Jonah exhaled, heart pounding. Mira's hand found his, small but firm. Seraphine piloted the pod toward the planet's surface. Her face remained calm, but her eyes held relief. "We did it," she murmured. Jonah nodded, feeling the chorus ring cool on his finger. The nanites settled into a quiet hum. Kestrel pressed against Jonah's leg, unharmed. Mira's voice softened. No longer singing. She leaned against her mother, exhausted but safe. The pod descended through wispy clouds. Purple sands came into view below. The battle had ended, but scars lingered. Rhodes's betrayal stung less now. Jonah's purpose felt clearer than ever. Orison 3's song pulsed gently in his veins. It guided them home. The pod touched down softly in the desert. The twin moons hung low, casting silver light. The team stepped out into the cool night air. Jonah scanned the horizon for threats. None appeared. Seraphine placed a hand on his shoulder. "You fought for us all." Her voice carried quiet gratitude. Mira smiled up at him, purple eyes bright. Jonah returned a small nod. The weight of the fight lifted slightly. The desert stretched silent around them. The chorus cave waited in the distance. Its stones called faintly, a promise of peace. Jonah felt the planet's pull stronger now. He was part of its rhythm. The pod settled gently on Orison 3's purple sands. Dust swirled lightly around the hatch. Jonah stepped out first, scanning the horizon. Twin moons hung low in the sky. Their silver light bathed the desert softly. Seraphine followed with Mira close behind. Kestrel bounded out, shaking off the journey. The Aurelian village glowed faintly in the distance. Celebrations already stirred among the people. Back in Aurelian Grove, cheers rose like a rising tide. The Karn Syndicate's defeat spread through the crowd. Bioluminescent trees pulsed brighter with joy. Villagers danced in loose circles. Chorus stones hummed a triumphant melody. Jonah, Seraphine, and Mira approached the gathering. Faces turned toward them with gratitude. Jonah helped oversee the new settlement's construction. Forest edge took shape at the desert's border. Purple trees met open sands there. Humans and Aurelians worked side by side. Hammers rang against fresh timber. Structures rose steadily under shared effort. Seraphine directed the builders calmly. Her voice carried quiet authority. The recovered chorus stones arrived by caravan, salvaged from the flagship's scattered wreckage. They gleamed with untarnished light. Villagers carried them to the chorus cave reverently. The stone songs now echoed unity, no longer weapons, but symbols of peace. Jonah felt their hum without old pain. His nanites had stabilized fully. They harmonized with Orison 3's rhythm. Jonah earned the title Song-Bound among the Aurelians. It marked him as a bridge between species. He accepted the role without fanfare. Patrols became his daily routine. Kestrel trotted at his heels always. The dog adapted to the community swiftly. Seraphine and Jonah drew closer in quiet moments. Their bond deepened into something profound. Shared glances held unspoken promises. Mira viewed Jonah as a father figure now. She followed him during walks often. Her purple eyes sparkled with trust. Kestrel played with the Aurelian children in the groves. His loyalty extended to the whole settlement. Dark brown fur gleamed under the suns. Bright eyes watched over the young ones. Laughter filled the air around him. An Aurelian elder observed from a shaded bench. The new settlement unfolded before him. Hope swelled in his chest gently. Differences between races seemed smaller now. Celebration of varied strengths promised a brighter future. He nodded to himself silently. Jonah visited the chorus cave alone one evening. The stone song enveloped him warmly. Vibrations coursed through his veins. No surge of pain came this time. Nanites flowed in perfect sync. Orison III had claimed him fully. The settlement hosted its first shared moon dance soon after. Humans and Aurelians gathered under the moons. Voices blended with the stone's hum. The crowd swayed in unified rhythm. Jonah stood with Seraphine and Mira, their hands linked in a simple circle. Jonah reflected on the path quietly. One act of kindness had sparked it all, saving Mira from the glass mud. It changed everything in subtle ways. "I found music," he whispered. The words carried on the night breeze. Seraphine squeezed his hand gently. Her silver-blue skin caught the glow. Mira hummed a light tune nearby. The stones responded with brighter pulses. Unity thrummed through the gathering. Forest edge grew stronger each day. Purple forest provided fresh resources. Desert sands offered open space. Humans shared tech knowledge freely. Aurelians taught stone harmonies in return. Jonah patrolled the edges at dusk often. Kestrel sniffed the air keenly. No threats loomed on the horizon now. Peace settled like a soft blanket. Mira practiced her songs in the cave sometimes. Her voice controlled the stones effortlessly. Jonah listened from the entrance. Pride swelled in him quietly. Seraphine joined him there one night. They watched Mira together. Words felt unnecessary between them. Their presence spoke volumes. The elders shared stories around evening fires. Legends of song-bound figures wove into tales. Jonah featured in the newer ones now. Children listened with wide eyes. Kestrel curled up by the flames. His loyalty anchored the community. The dog had become a symbol too. Jonah felt old guilt fade slowly. War's shadows retreated under Orison III's light. Purpose replaced the void inside. The moon dance continued late into the night. Songs blended human and Aurelian notes. The stones amplified the harmony perfectly. Jonah stood amid it all. Seraphine at one side, Mira at the other. The planet's song pulsed through them. Kindness had forged this new beginning. Forest edge promised lasting peace. Differences strengthened the whole. Love and trust outshone any weapon. The twin suns rose the next morning. Light bathed the settlement warmly. Jonah greeted the day with quiet resolve. Orison III held them all now.